Yeah,
All
so
right.
definitely be watching that. And then the boy, I can't actually. I'm interested in talking about this. This story went back and forth so quickly with the whole the phone call and the Julio Jones trade
Yes.
rumors. It flip flopped back and forth. It was like it was legal. It was not legal. Is it a two party state? Is it not a two party state? And then it was like, oh, he did it on purpose. And like the day after, and it was like, oh, is his agent obviously going to be leaking it to give himself some leverage? Which I mean, that weakens your trade leverage, and they would want to get rid of you less. But yeah, I'm very interested to see where this goes. I still couldn't figure it out. I really don't. I really don't know at this point.
I think basically, so I know I watched the call basically live. It was like not too long after the call happened. I was like watching, and they like show. I saw a clip of it um on there, basically of the call happening and everything like that. So I and was like, okay, there's a couple things. So one, this could be a PR stunt. Obviously, Julio's friends with Shannon, if he's enough to call him. This
Yeah,
is one of those where it could easily have been set up where they made Shannon aware and Shannon knew and all that. Now, I have heard obviously that, and I'm sure the whole sports world has heard basically that Julio apparently didn't know he was on the call, which is also one of those where I'm like, I don't know if that's true or not. I don't think it is really. If I'm like actually looking at this, I don't think that I think Julio knew he was on the show.
yeah.
He's not going to call him like if you're watching the show live or even just like know that the show's on like middle of the day TV and Shannon randomly calls you in the middle of the day. It's just one of those where I'm just like you had to have known even if it wasn't planned, but I do feel like there was a planning to it. But I will say though that overall it is intriguing to see where Julio could end up. So I do also find it funny that there was like talk about like he's not going to get a first for him or they're not going to get a first for him or they were asking for a first
Yeah.
initially or something
Before the
like that or
draft, I
they
think.
yeah and then they want like a first for him. I think they could get a first potentially. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a team like the Ravens for instance who need a wide receiver badly, and yeah they did draft one but like obviously if you're going to get Julio Jones why would you ever complain about that?
Right.
Now I know the teams that have been kind of listed to him. The whole Patriots things was fun. I don't know if you saw like the whole Patriots talk and basically how he could end up going there, which would be wild. You want to talk about a team that goes from one year being a joke to the next year being like, holy crap, this team has a lot of weapons. If they got Julio Jones, I'd be so annoyed because it'd be like the fastest rebuild in history of
Yeah.
like sports.
They weren't
And
even a joke last year was the thing too. Like before Cam got COVID, like that Seahawks game when people thought the Seahawks actually had a decent defense, like that was actually like primetime TV and fun to watch
Mhm.
before they all fell off and fell apart and everything. But like they could still run the ball like really well. They just couldn't pass it at all. Like at all. In putting the pressure on that run game, they still were able to I mean they were what did they finished 7-9, right? And they weren't like a
Yeah.
trash team at all. So yeah, they could very quickly flip things around. We were covering the draft. They put a bunch of money into free agency. They got Hunter Henry, right?
Yeah, they got Hunter Henry, they got Jonas Smith,
Yeah.
both two of the best tight ends in the league. And then you go ahead and build, you trade back for Trent Brown. So Trent Brown's back, so that bolsters that offensive line. They got rid of Joe Tooney, yeah, but they have a guy waiting in the wing who's also a good, promising young player. So their offensive line's really good. And then you have who else did they pay for? They paid for a couple different. Oh, defense. They added a safety. They added a corner. They added pass rush. They added Judon, Matthew
Oh yeah,
Judon, who was
right.
one of the better pass rushers last year. They added him in there. There's a lot of things that the Patriots did to improve. And then they also you have to remember too that they're getting like Dante Hightower back. And then not only that, but they have Cam who's got he's got another year in the offense and a lot better weapons now.
Yeah.
Um, so the Patriots are one of those teams that they're going to be really good this year. And if Cam doesn't do it for him, then Mac Jones is going to come in. In my opinion, Mac Jones isn't going to play this year. I don't think he will because I think Cam will be fine. I think Cam ends up playing all 17 games, and I think the Patriots end up going like I want to say 10-7, 11-6, maybe at their best.
Okay.
And I could see them making the playoffs. as a lower seed, but being like a dangerous lower seed.
Okay. Yeah, no, I could see that
So,
too, especially with expanded playoffs and everything.
but I would, anyways, to get back to the Julio talk, Julio on that team would be ridiculous. And automatically, I would think that if Julio joins that team, they're winning at least 11 games, if not 12. It would be my
Ooh.
bet. Because they're just too good, like at that point. Because then they not only do they have the speed, because they have a lot of wide receivers that have speed and are good route runners. They just don't have like a big guy. They don't have a good like a go-to big wide receiver to throw in the red zone and everything like that, and go up and get one. So yeah, exactly. The Patriots should be banned. Honestly, it's like I said, it'd be the quickest rebuild in history to see the Patriots end up getting Julio after getting Hunter Henry and Jono Smith and adding receivers that are young, quick, guys. I can't remember their names at the moment, but regardless, they added them. Their offense line with Trent Brown, Charles Menu. I can't remember exactly what his name is. He's taking over for Joe Tooney. Uh, they're going to be so good. Oh, you think Cam is done?
I'm more on
Interesting.
his side, to be honest with you. I
Do
thought it was
you?
funny when there was like the rumor about Julio wanting to play with Cam, and I was like, you can't really catch balls if they're just like constantly throwing 10 feet in front of you in the dirt. Like that's where his arm was at. It looked like. I mean, that's what I see all the time. That's what I read, and obviously I watched a few of his games last year. But like, man, his arm looks hurt. Like and I don't know. There's so many different things because it could have been COVID. Like all people are like, oh, he was looking great before COVID. He was able to run. He was able to pass. Maybe it messed
Yeah.
him up. But like that arm has gone through some damage. There was actually a clip that I saw recently that was like from the 15-1 season against the Falcons where he just like takes hit after hit after hit in like one single run. It was like a great run for 15 yards, but he got messed up, and like that was from one play. Especially doing that for like years and years in Carolina and getting those hits.
Well, that
I
was
don't
the
know.
problem. That was the problem with Cam there in Carolina is that he was uber talented and everything and was able to take the hits every game, but it was one of those where you were just waiting for him to finally take that final hit that puts you down for significant enough time where you have to change your the game to change the game that you play. I don't know.
Yeah,
I just feel like there's too many weapons around Cam now for him to succeed. Like I do think though that like I agree. If Cam doesn't show enough in the first like 5 games, 6 games, I could definitely see Mac Jones can't coming in and playing the final 10 games
yeah,
easily. Because if they talk about how Mac Jones is as smart as he is, freaking Bill Belichick's going to love that and going to eat it up, and he's going to run basically a very similar offense. I mean, if you look at the offense he built, it wouldn't surprise me that he goes the route of Mac Jones because if you plug Tom Brady into this offense right now, it's the same old classic Patriots offense. Have good receiving backs, 2 great tight ends, quick wide receivers to run routes. That's and then a good offensive line. That's literally what he built over and over again for Tom Brady. So I wouldn't doubt it if Mac Jones came in and suddenly played, 10 games straight and you know, went 10-7 on his own.
yeah. Okay, so that's an interesting thing that I never had heard of
Yeah.
before. First of all, the Cam wakes up at 4:20 thing, hilarious, and also the fact that if you like, I remember that was from a graphic, right? I think I saw that on Twitter too, of him like
Yeah.
basically it said that he was getting like 5 hours of sleep or less, and like it was just like oh, work hard, grind hard, all that stuff. But like, man, if your body's like not healing that well, you need to sleep. And it was like, yeah, wakes up at like 4:20, goes to bed at like midnight or like 11:30. Just a crazy thing that was like a Sunday Night Football graphic. So I do like that. But also, yeah, if like he traded Cam Newton to the Raiders, like that'd be dirty. I'm not gonna lie. Like if he's coming back
Well,
and he's super excited for the Patriots, and you're just like gone.
Well, that trade's not going to happen until like middle of the season. It's not going to happen until Bill is confident that Mac Jones is going to be able to take over.
Sure,
Like,
yeah,
because that's what it is. It's basically if Cam Newton doesn't play, it's because Bill's confident that Mac Jones is going to be able to take over and be better. That's like until he's confident in Mac's ability to pick up that offense and run it to the liking of Bill. I think it's Cam's job to lose. So that's
yeah,
and I could see if Cam actually played well and was able to improve upon last year and actually start throwing the ball and completing passes and everything like that downfield, I could see him starting all 17 games and being fine, and then Mac Jones coming in next year, which I think probably would make Bill happy, because that would probably give him a year to teach Mac and learn him up, and then next year he comes into the offense and is playing ridiculously well, which wouldn't surprise me at all because it's the Patriots and why not?
They do.
But I think if a trade happens where Cam Newton gets traded, it's probably going to happen like early to mid season. It's probably like week 6, week 7, and that's only because Mac Jones is taking over because Bill's confident in Mac Jones being able to run the offense better than Cam. So it'll just depend. It's Cam's job to lose, is basically what I'm saying. Unless Mac blows you away in training camps and preseason, which I don't think he will. Mac Jones is more of the player that, like, once you get him out there and he knows the offense, he'll be able to run it well. He's not a player that's going to blow you away with the arm strength or the making plays happen and preseason and stuff. So, but yeah, I know if the Patriots got Julio Jones, that's it. Call it a day. I can't believe the Patriots are the Patriots, and Bill's done it again. I mean, literally, like, when the whole, like, Bill is just, there's just another level to Bill and how he's able to run his teams. I mean, just look at the way that he dealt with Gronkowski. Gronkowski was not playing in the NFL. He did not want to play a single game ever again for the Patriots. And somehow Bill turned a player that wasn't going to play for him ever again into a draft pick. Like, it's ridiculous. I don't know what, he's playing chess while everybody's playing checkers, and that's just the way it's always been.
Well, don't forget, Gronkowski also had the other side of that, where if you got traded to the Lions, he would say you'd straight up retire. So that was just, I mean, like, so you got something for him? Like, that part's great, for sure. But yeah, that I always thought that was interesting, too. Straight up was just threatening retirement. Atlanta trades him to New England. General Sherman will rise from the dead and burn the city down again. Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah, I think the whole sports world will just collectively roll its eyes.
Yeah, I think the schedulers would be pissed if they didn't get Patriots in more primetime slots after that would happen.
Yep.
I forget how many primetime games they have this year. We didn't really break down their schedule, but yeah.
Listen, Patriots fans last year were finally knocked down a notch, and then this whole offseason has just been like, last year the Patriots fans all got knocked down a notch, and they were all just like all dead. And then this is literally the Patriots fans now after like this whole offseason and Julio Jones. It's like,
yeah,
we're back.
Like, one bad season to recharge.
Yeah, that's it. It's just one bad season, and then we replenish the entire team in the offseason and trades and draft. Let's draft a quarterback that we everybody was like, hey, the Patriots, even me, I was like, oh, the Patriots are going to trade up in the first to get their quarterback, and then Bill's just sitting there like, I'm just going to wait.
Yep,
he'll fall. I don't have to worry about it.
I really wanted to know how they were looking at Justin Fields as well. Always interested to see how teams like that were
I feel
keeping
like
in mind.
Basically what it was is I feel like Bill was happy with either one, and I feel like it was one of those where whoever fell to him at 15 was going to, yeah, he would pick.
He's got contingency plan A and B, and he just had them on file on the side, and he's like, oh, either one. Oh, it's that one. All right, guess it's B. Guess it's A. 1A, 1B.
I mean, you've seen Patriots, and you saw like the Bears war room, like the Rams war room and all that. And then you see Bill Belichick, and he's just sitting by his like Shiba Inu, like draft, or not Shiba Inu, but whatever his dog is, just drafting. Like, he's just like, here's a treat. And like, oh, our pick's up. All right, we're going to take this kid who's going to be a stud.
Yeah.
And then just like puts it in, and then is like, good dog. Like, Bill just does not care. He's just going to draft somebody in like the late rounds. It's going to be amazing.